Hello there. Hello guys. Welcome once again to my channel, Francis Tech Ed. Once again, I appeal, if you find this video, if you found this video interesting, please like, subscribe, and share. We're getting quite a lot of views, but it's not translating to subscription. Please also subscribe if you find the videos useful. Subscribe and also share with other people as well. Thank you so much. Okay, so right now in this video, we're going to be looking at the theory aspects of February March 2026 IGCSE ICT paper 1. Okay, so we're going to be going through the different questions, the answers, and explanations about them. Okay, so if you haven't seen my video on web authoring, please click on the pop-up banner. Okay, I've done all the practical videos. I've done on database, I've done on document production. I'll be linking them in pop-up banners as they're popping out. Please, anyone you're interested in, kindly click and watch. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. Let us start this video. Okay, so the physical components of a computer are known as hardware. All right, so hardware defined as the parts of the computer you can see, you can feel, you can touch. Okay, that's hardware. All right, now the programs for controlling the operation of a computer, this is software. These are the coded programs that allow you to control certain tasks in the computer system. Okay, great. Now question number 2. A student is making a recording of his voice for a podcast. Explain how the student's voice could be recorded on a computer. All right, on a computer. Okay, so let's start. All right, so for the voice to be recorded, a microphone is used. All right, so let's start. The microphone picks the voice of the student as he's speaking, as he or she is speaking. Okay, all right, that's the first point. Answering in points makes it easier for your examiners to mark. Number 2, this voice is converted. This voice is converted from analog, because sound is actually analog. All right, it's not a digital type of data, it's an analog data. So this voice is converted from analog to digital data using what? Using the ADC. What is the ADC now? Analog to digital converter. Okay, all right, so what's the next? Because we have 3 points here. All right, the computer then stores the recording as a digital file. All right, so this is it. Okay, so the microphone picks up the voice of the student as he or she is speaking. The voice is converted from analog to digital data using ADC, and then the computer stores digital data. Okay, all right, let's go to the B part now. Remember, if you are answering a question in ICT, please don't use phrases. Very important, don't use phrases, and make sure that the answers you are given are actually related to the question you are answering. You can see how I use here. The microphone picks the voice of the student because it's a student who's speaking here. The voice is converted and then is stored. Okay, don't just write the voice is picked and all that. It doesn't answer the question directly. Okay, it's generic. Let your answers not be in generic form. Let your answers answer the specific question you are being asked. So that being said, let's continue. When his voice has been recorded, the student wishes to listen to it. Explain the computer process that enables the student to listen to the recording of his voice. Okay, so let's start. The student locates locates the file on his computer, on his or her computer, okay, and clicks on it. All right. Answer number two. The computer uses its media player, or let's say this starts up the media player of the computer. Okay, so these are 2 points. Second point. Third point, the digital file is converted to analog data using the DAC, which outputs as sound from the outputs as sound from the speakers. All right, so this is let me move this so that's good aligned. All right, so this is it. The student locates a file on his or her computer and clicks on it. All right, of course, if you want to play a sound, you have to find the file and click on it. Then this starts up the media player. Of course, you can't play sound without the media player. And then the sound, the file is converted from analog to digital. Sorry, from digital to analog, so that you can hear it. Because, like I said, digital file is stored in the computer, analog file is the output as sound. Okay. All right. ROM is a type of internal memory in a computer. States one other type of internal memory. So basically, there are two, the ROM and the RAM. So if it's not the ROM, then it's the RAM. All right. Great. So two characteristics of ROM. All right. So ROM is non-volatile. It's a non-volatile memory. What that means is that ROM does not lose its information easily. Okay, it's a non-volatile memory. All right. What's the next one? ROM is a permanent memory. All right. So ROM is non-volatile. That means if you're working on the ROM and maybe it's a desktop computer you're using and then the power goes off or your battery dies out, you don't lose information on the ROM. All right. So a ROM is a permanent memory. It means ROM, whatever is stored on the ROM remains on the ROM. Okay. So with these 2 points, you can clear this. All right. Good. There are other points, anyways. Okay. There are other points. ROM is actually fixed on the motherboard most times. Okay. Um, Examples of ROM. Okay, things stored on ROM include your BIOS. You know what your BIOS is? BIOS stands for Basic Input Output System. This is what controls most of some of the settings in the computer actually in the BIOS, especially settings that has to do with booting up a computer system. All right, settings that hold the operating system and how it functions. They're in the BIOS and they are stored on the ROM. Okay, so um, these are some other answers you can put as characteristics of the ROM. Okay, all right, that's good. So next question: a computer system you can use command line interfaces or dialogue based interfaces. Compare a command line interface with a dialogue based interface. Okay, now um, command line interface has to do with typing commands, an operating system interface that uses commands to carry out operations on the computer, while dialogue based interface is an operating system interface that uses interactions, conversations, your voice to control stuff on the computer, control programs, and all that. So, to start with, what will be the first comparison we'll have here now? Let's say CLI. CLI. CLI uses commands to carry out tasks on the computer. Okay. Then dialogue-based interface uses voice commands to carry out different tasks on the computer. All right, so that's 2 out of 6 points. Okay, next point. Sorry, let me I like this being aligned. Okay, all right, so CLI is mostly is most okay. Let's say CLI doesn't consume much computing power. Okay. Dialogue based interface now. The reason CLI doesn't consume much computing power is because it doesn't use graphics, doesn't make use of graphics, and it's just text, white text on a black background, and that is very easy for the computer to carry out tasks because it is not having to process images and menus and all that. Okay, dialogue based interface makes use of icons, menus, pointers, and graphics. We're not contrasting, we're comparing. So I'm going to continue. What else? CLI. CLI requires mastery of complex computer commands. All right. For dialogue based interface, very convenient dialogue based interface is very convenient to use as it doesn't require commands. Doesn't require the use of typing commands. All right, so I think I did not spell this correctly. Okay, I think I'm supposed to have like an E. All right, so these are 6 points. I think this 6. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are 6 points that you can use in comparing CLI and dialogue-based commands. If you want to look at more, let me add like some more for you, just in case. So we can say CLI can be used to carry out very powerful tasks, on the computer. Okay, so there are certain tasks you cannot carry out with voice commands that you can do with CLI on the computer, because CLI interacts directly with the computer. Okay, then for the dialogue based this thing, we can say disabled people will find dialogue based interfaces very convenient to use, or find them very useful. Let's use that word. All right, so these are some comparisons between dialogue based interface and command line interfaces. So you can pick from any of this, whichever one is suitable for you. Okay, there are others, all right, but these are the ones I can put in this question. So it requires 6 marks, but I give you 2 just in case. Okay, all right, so let's move on to number 5. A student is studying the quality of water in a river. The student can analyze the data using a tablet computer or a smartphone. Explain why a tablet computer is better than a smartphone for collecting and analyzing the data from the river. So we're looking at comparison between a tablet and a smartphone. Okay, now we're looking at analysis of data. All right, analysis of data. Now, between a smartphone and a tablet, which is better for analyzing data and why? All right, if you look at it, tablets have a larger screen than smartphones, which means you'll be able to see a lot more of your data that is being analyzed than a smartphone. So let's start with that. Tablets have a larger screen, which allows for more data viewing and analysis. All right, So because of the larger screen of tablets, you can view more data, you can do more analysis. Okay. All right. So next one, why else is tablet better than a smartphone? Okay, generally speaking, tablets have a larger battery. All right, most tablets have from 5,000 milliamp, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 milliamps and upwards. But an average smartphone goes from between 4,000 to around 5,000. Okay. So in comparison, generally speaking, I know right now the lines are being blurred in terms of battery capacity, but generally speaking, tablets usually have a larger battery. Tablets have a larger battery than smartphones. So how do we relate this now to analyzing data? Which means which means more time can be spent analyzing the data without bothering about recharging the battery. So you can see how I have tailored my answer to the question. So always make sure you do that. Okay, your answer should always relate to the question. Don't just use phrases, don't just use sentences that don't relate, they must relate to the question. So far we have 2 points. So what else? Tablets and smartphones. Okay, tablets usually come with usually have physical keyboard accessories. Okay, physical keyboard accessories, which makes it easier for entering data. All right, so entering data with smartphones can be a faff for most people. Okay, all right, but using physical keyboard makes it easier. So when we talk about data analysis, you can use tablets should function better based on this particular reason. Okay. Then final point. What else does tablet have over smartphones? We can say, generally speaking, tablets have more powerful processors. Generally speaking, this is true than smartphones. So what does this imply? Which means data would be analyzed faster. Data would be analyzed faster. All right. So these are 4 points that are very, very much suited to this question. So you can see, in comparing tablets and smartphone, we have looked at the screen size, applied it to the question. We looked at the battery capacity, applied it to the question. We've looked at sorry, I think let me see, there's a mistake here. We've looked at the keyboard. We've looked at the fact that tablets actually have space for accessories. Put that in. We looked at the processors of tablets and how much they affect the question that we're asked to look at. Okay. All right. So, is there any other thing tablets have over smartphones? We can say what again? Um, Tablets also, you can also add a mouse to a tablet. You can use it, and then you'll be able to carry out a more efficient data analysis. Okay. All right. So the students can, let's look at the B part now. The students can collect data using sensors or collect data manually and then type it into the tablet computer. Discuss the benefits and drawbacks of using sensors to collect data. And this is 6 marks. All right. So we're comparing sensors and humans collection of data. So how do we do this now? So let's compare. So let's look at in terms of speed between humans and sensors, which one take readings faster? Your guess is as good as mine. So let's start with that. Let's say sensors are faster in collecting data. In collecting data than humans. Okay. So next up, what else? Another benefit of using sensors. Sensors don't need a break, or let's say sensors are consistent in collecting data. Okay, they work all day long. You can bracket, you can put 24/7 just to drive home the point. 24/7 without needing a break. Without needing a break. Okay? You don't need a break. But human beings would need a break in between. All right? So, what else? Sensors, collecting data with sensors. With sensors are more cost effective than with humans. Do you know why? Because you would not need to pay salaries. Okay? Because sensors don't take salaries. All right. So it's more cost effective. That means you're not paying anybody to do the job. You just buy the sensor, and then the sensor does the job 24/7 all day long without needing any payments. Okay. All right. What else? Let me just add one for. Anybody who would need that. What else? Sensors can be used. Sensors can be used in extreme environments. For example, I hope you know there's a rover in Mars currently, Curiosity rover, the robot in Mars that is currently collecting data using sensors. Meanwhile, a human being cannot yet go to Mars because we don't know if the person will survive there or not. Okay, so in such places, we can use sensors. Unfit for humans. This can be used in extreme conditions, unfit for humans. Okay. Can be used to collect data. Okay, so you can see that now I have 4. All right. So next up, We need to put another one. Now we're looking at the contrast. So what are the disadvantages humans have over, or sensors have over humans in collecting data? Let's see. Faulty sensors, faulty sensors produce faulty readings. Okay, faulty sensors produce faulty readings. So if the sensor is faulty, definitely the reading will be faulty. All right. Okay, great. So what other disadvantage um, do sensors have over human beings in this scenario? Okay. We can say some devices that come with sensors are very expensive to purchase. Okay, so some of the devices are actually very expensive to purchase. Imagine what it took to actually build the device that is on Mars right now, and the costs of getting that device on Mars. Okay, um, it's quite, it was quite expensive. It's quite expensive. Okay, it's quite expensive. All right. So we are not saying is compared to humans is some scenarios actually where a human being can actually do the job. It's not an extreme environment, but a human being can do the job. You can get local guys to look out for certain weather signs and pay them certain little amounts. Okay, and then you compare the data. If you deploy a very expensive equipment with a sensor, it's actually more expensive. It's quite expensive to do that. But in some other cases, it is cost effective. All right. So how many points do we have? One, we have two, we have three, we have four, we have five, we have six. So let me just add something to this. Faulty sensors produce faulty readings that lead to faulty data analysis, to faulty data. Okay, or wrong data. Let's use wrong data just to make it better. Okay. All right. So one final one, a disadvantage of a sensor. We've talked about the expense. We've talked about what else? 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 Let's see. Um, some sensors can be easily damaged by by let me look at the question. Where are we taking this reading? In a river. It can be easily damaged by water, thereby leading to no reading. Okay, so you can see so this is, I give you 7 points, so you can pick six from here. You can see we've seen sensors are faster in collecting data than humans. Sensors are consistent in collecting data. They work 24/7. Okay, so let me just correct that. All right, collecting data with sensors are more cost effective. All right, sensors can be used to collect data in extreme conditions, especially if you look at the question. We talk about the river, maybe in the river. Okay, sensors can be used to collect data in extreme conditions. Faulty sensors produce faulty readings. Some data that come with some devices that come with sensors are very expensive to purchase. and then some sensors can be easily damaged by water, leading to no readings. Okay, so these are comparison the benefits and drawbacks of using sensors to collect data. Okay, all right, next up, data collected from sensors can be stored on the cloud. States why data stored on the cloud. Data is stored on the cloud rather than being stored on a portable solid state drive. Okay, okay. So let's start. So now what we're doing is comparison between an SSD, which is a physical storage device, and cloud, which has to do with internet-based storage. So one of the obvious advantages is that an SSD can be easily stolen, leading to loss of data. But cloud storage is not prone to thefts. Okay, because the cloud storage is not a physical storage that is moved around easily. There are huge data centers in different parts of the world that are properly guarded, properly taken care of. Okay, so data cannot be lost easily. But with an SSD that is a physical device, if you misplace your SSD, data is lost. All right, another advantage, data can be accessed anywhere, can be accessed from any location, from the cloud, but the same does not apply with SSDs. Okay, what this means is that you can be anywhere and access what you've stored on the cloud. All right, but if you're not in the same physical location with the SSD, you cannot access the data. Okay, so that's what that means. All right, another advantage that cloud storage has is that data can be accessed from any device with access to the cloud storage. Okay, data can be accessed from any device with access to the cloud storage. Okay, this cloud storage is usually so once you can connect to the internet, you can reach the service of the internet, the cloud service provider. For example, we have OneDrive, we have Google Drive, we have iCloud. Once your device can log into that particular service, you can access the data that is stored over there. So you don't need to be in the same physical location with the SSD. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the same computer you used. Okay, with cloud storage, you can access it from a variety of devices. Okay, all right. So these are reasons why data is stored on the cloud rather than on portable SSDs. And with cloud storage, you have access to other software that you can use as well, to carry out more data analysis. Okay, so these are the answers for this question. Okay, so if you stayed with me so far, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. We're going to continue shortly, but I just want to appreciate you for your time and for going through this course with me. You've done well, and I hope this video is useful to you. Okay, all right. So a computer, let's go to the next question now. A computer contains both antivirus software and anti-malware software. explain the differences between antivirus software and anti-malware software. So the first thing we're going to do is to define them basically. Okay. So an antivirus software is a software that is used to detect and take care of viruses on the computer, while an anti-malware software is used to detect and prevent malwares in general. Okay, so a virus is just one example of a malware. There are so many examples like spywares, keyloggers, ransomwares. There's so many of them. Okay, so I'm going to start by defining an antivirus. An antivirus. Okay, there's a hyphen here. An antivirus is a software that prevents, detects, and destroys viruses on a device. Okay, while anti-malware is a software that detects. Okay, let's start with prevention. Prevents, detects, and removes malware in a device. Okay. All right. So next difference, we can say, because an antivirus software is focused on viruses, it doesn't use that as much system resources as an anti-malware would. So let's go there. Antivirus software uh, doesn't use much of system resources in carrying out its activities. Okay, while an anti-malware uses more system resources than an antivirus software in carrying out its activities. All right, so these are, how many points are we giving now? 4 points. So we have 4 points now. Good. So antivirus software. Antivirus is software that prevents, detects, and destroys viruses on a device. Anti-malware is a software that prevents, detects, and removes malware in a device. So antivirus doesn't use much of system resources in carrying out activities. Anti-malware uses more system resources than antivirus. Okay. Just for good measure, we can add. What can we add? What can we add? Okay, so we can include examples of anti-malware and examples of antivirus software as other points. Okay, that will cover for the differences. All right, let's go to the B part now. So why are both antivirus software and anti-malware software needed in the computer? Okay, so we have two marks here. We can say antivirus software ensures that the device functions properly, free from viruses. Okay, while anti-malware anti-malware ensures that the device is not the device performance is not affected by malicious software. Okay, so basically they're just asking you what both of them do to ensure that the computer is functioning optimally. So this answers that question. All right, so this is why both of them are needed. All right, fantastic. All right, so that answers that question. Let's move on to number 7. um, Number 7, prolonged use of a computer can result in many health issues. One of the health issues is repetitive strain injury. States 2 possible causes of repetitive strain injury. Okay, so basically, repetitive strain injury has to do with a swelling or a pain on the joint that arises from doing a particular activity over and over again, repeating a particular activity. Okay, so let's look at some possible causes of RSI when using IT equipment. So, what are the activities you can do repetitively? Number one is um, typing. Okay, so typing for long periods can lead to RSI. Typing for long periods, okay, can lead to RSI. And another one is using the mouse for long periods as well. So another one that can cause this, improper sitting posture can also cause RSI, because when you don't sit properly, you put pressure on certain parts of your body like your wrists, and that could also lead to pain or swellings at on your joints. All right. So these are two possible causes of RSI. So, what are the two possible strategies for preventing RSI? So, if typing for too long can cause RSI that leads to swelling and pain, so what would be an antidote to that? It will be taking breaks, okay? Taking breaks in between when working with the computer. Okay, so it's when you take breaks in between, it means you're not typing for a long period, and then it relieves your joints. All right, then the next one we have here, another strategy for preventing RSI, would be using ergonomic devices like an ergonomic mouse or an ergonomic keyboard. Okay, using an ergonomic keyboard to type documents. All right, ergonomic. Now, ergonomic devices are devices designed to make your workflow easy, make your IT workflow easy. For example, Ergonomic keyboards are keyboards that are designed to allow your wrist to rest so that you don't have to bend your wrists to give you RSI to cause you those pains and swellings. It makes your workflow easy. So when you say using an ergonomic keyboard, I'm sure you know what that means. It means using a device that is designed to make typing easy. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next question. Back problems are a health issue. State two possible cause of back problems when using a computer. So what could the first one be? Is incorrect sitting posture. Okay, incorrect sitting posture. If you don't sit correctly using the right posture, you are definitely going to have um, back issues when using the computer. All right. Then number two is not using ergonomic chairs. Okay, not using ergonomic chairs, or let's say not using ergonomic furniture. Ergonomic furniture when using a computer. Like I told you, ergonomic devices and furniture are designed to help your workflow, to ease your workflow. Okay, there are seats that have adjustable um, armrests, adjustable headrests, and then the back of the seats, the seats base supports your lumbar. Okay, it has lumbar support. So if you don't use such chairs, such furniture when doing your work with a computer, you are most likely going to have back problems. So state two possible next question. State two possible strategies for preventing back problems. Okay, number one is using a correct sitting posture. Using the correct sitting posture. Okay, sitting correctly, and then making use of ergonomic furniture. Furniture like chairs that support your back. Okay, so that answered that question. So I just basically what I did was just to flip this. Okay, if using incorrect sitting posture can give you back problems, then using the correct sitting posture would definitely prevent those sort of issues. All right, so let's move on to the next question. I think we're getting close to the end of this. Okay, all right, so let's continue. Okay, a company is phasing out its landline telephones, and replacing them with a VoIP system. Describe the benefits and drawbacks of using a VoIP system. So, first of all, what is VoIP? VoIP stands for Voice over Internet Protocol. And this protocol allows you to make voice calls over the internet using internet applications like WhatsApp, Skype, Zoom. Okay, they allow you to make voice calls over the internet. And what we're doing here is basically to compare, to look at the benefits of using VoIP and the drawbacks of using VoIP system compared to landlines. So, what's the first thing we're going to look at now? Um, VoIP supports more devices than landlines, right? Think about it for a second. Okay, so for landlines you have to use a particular kind of telephone, and it has to be stationary. But then with VoIP, you can do voice calls with your laptop, you can do voice calls with your mobile phones, you can do voice calls with your tablets, you can do voice calls with your desktop, you can even do voice calls with your TV sets, your smart TV sets. Okay, so support more devices. VoIP is more or encourages. Wait, I'm looking for a way to put this. So this is the idea. So with VoIP, you can move around. All right, you can make phone calls from anywhere. All right, but landlines, you have to be in a place where the telephone is. Okay, so with VoIP, let me start with that. With VoIP, calls can be made from anywhere while on the go. Okay, so with that, I've been able to state that VoIP allows you to make phone calls from anywhere, and then it is mobile. Okay, it's mobile. It's mobile. All right, so two done, four to go. So what other advantage can we pick out on VoIP? Mm, okay, let's say VoIP supports a variety of applications. All right. Um, with VoIP, you can make voice calls on WhatsApp, social media, social messenger apps, with video conferencing apps. Different kind of apps support VoIP. All right, like uh, video conferencing apps, social media, etc. Okay, so three down, three to go. All right. Now let's continue. Let's continue. So, like I said, with VoIP, you can use a variety of applications to make voice calls, but with landlines, it's just a landline. Okay. So let's look at the drawbacks of VoIP system. Unstable internet can lead to very poor quality of very poor call quality. Okay. Next up, VoIP cannot be used where there is no internet service. Okay, so VoIP depends on internet. So where there's no internet service, you cannot use VoIP. Okay, you cannot use VoIP. So how many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need one more. So what other advantage does VoIP have? What other disadvantage does mobile telephoning have over VoIP? Okay. Okay. Is it more expensive? Is it more expensive? No, it's not more expensive. Um. hmm. Okay. 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 Let's say VoIP is not as widely used as telephone landlines. Do you know why? Because some people do not have access to technology. To technology. Okay. I just remember one other thing. So, in places where you don't have internet, all right, people don't use, you can't use social media apps for that. You can't use to make VIP calls. Okay, it's only in areas where there's internet. Okay, so because of that, it's not as widely used as telephone landlines. All right. So these are one, two, three, four, five, six points. I was thinking I could remember one other point. Let's see. In terms of use, which one is easier to use? Is it VoIP or telephone landlines? Okay. Um, some people will find it difficult to use VoIP enabled services. All right. So this is seven now. This is seven now. Okay. So this is seven. You can use any of this. You can use any of this to answer this question, and I think they're correct. Okay. So these are the benefits and the drawbacks of using a VoIP system compared to landline telephones. All right. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on now. State two types of extended reality. Okay. So extended reality has to do with computers creating a virtual environment and then making it look real. All right. It's a virtual reality basically, and then a mixture of virtual reality and the real environment. So for extended reality, it's a broad concept that has to do with anything virtual reality and a mixture of virtual reality. So let me not confuse you. Okay. So the examples of extended reality, we have virtual reality, which is VR. Okay. And then we have augmented reality. Okay. I'm sure you know what this is. Augmented reality. So these are the two examples of. We also have mixed reality. I think that's another category. So we have virtual reality and we have augmented reality. These are the two examples of extended reality. All right. Great. So I just want to see what we have until we're done. Okay. All right. So this is number 10. The principal of Tawara University is considering setting up a group on social media to communicate with students. Social media has both benefits and drawbacks. Describe the benefits to the university of using social media in this way. Okay. So, of course, the first advantage of social media is that messages can be communicated easily, messages and information can be sent across very easily. All right. Then another one is that messages and information as well can be sent in a timely manner. That means very fast. Okay. So the speed of sending information is fast using social media. All right. Okay. So, what other benefits of social media do we have? Mm, 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 mm. Okay, messages and information can be sent using a variety of communication methods. Now, this is what I mean: communication methods, which could be audio as voice notes, video, and pictures. All right, so social media supports these methods. It could be audio, it could be visual, video, and it could also be using pictures. Okay, all right. Now let's look at the drawbacks of social media. Drawbacks of social media, number one is what? Students would be exposed to what? Exposed to phishing scams. Okay, through social media. All right. Also, um, also, um, what else? What else? What are the other drawbacks of social media? Uh, Social media drawbacks. Um, Students, let's say some students could post unverified information and pass it as verified. This is actually a problem that's going on right now. You have people sharing different kinds of things on social media, and then you sometimes you can't tell what is real and what is not. So those are some of that is another drawback of social media. And then the popular one you would know is that cyberbullying could take place among the students and staff. Okay, so that is six. So we have one, two, three, four, five, six. All right, so this is the answer to this question. Now let's go to the B part. The university is considering employing a communications manager to monitor the messages placed on its social media. Explain why this is necessary. Okay, so a communications manager basically is to his job will be to send out information and also to ensure that like a moderator, to ensure that what is posted on the media handle is verified. All right, so let's start with why is it necessary to ensure that only verified information is posted on the social media handle, media platform rather. Okay, also another another reason for this is to help the okay. Another reason for this is to ensure that students are not posting inappropriate materials slash information on the social media platform. Okay. All right. Okay. So to ensure that students are not posting inappropriate materials, and then to basically moderate the use of the social media platform to prevent issues like cyber bullying. Okay. Okay, I made a mistake. Let me delete that. All right. So this is the reason why social media communications manager is usually employed by the organization to ensure that only verified information is posted. Students are not posting appropriate material, and then it prevents issues like to moderate the platform to prevent issues like cyberbullying. Okay. So that answers number 10A and 10B. All right. So let's go to this now. Number 11. The internet is a type of wide area network. Describe the characteristics of a wide area network. So, a wide area network is an example of the type of networks we have. So, we have wireless local area network, which is WLAN. We have the LAN local area network. We have the personal area network, which is the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi, and then we have wide area network. Okay. So, the first thing we're going to do is to describe it. All right. So, okay. Actually, the whole question is description. So let's break down the description into different points. So, wide area networks are computer networks that span large geographical areas. Okay. Expand large geographical areas. That's the first description of wide area network. Then the next one is that wide area networks. They usually make use of what is called access points. Okay, make use of access points. All right. Access points are like repeaters and routers that extend the network over large areas. Okay, very good. So, next point, that's point number 3. Wide area network. Let's say an example of wide area network is the internet. Okay, that's point number 3. Point number 4. Point number 4. We can say a wide area network is usually created using a combination of wired and wireless networks. All right, so these 4 points describe what they want is. Okay, they are networks that span large geographical areas. They usually make use of access points. An example is the internet, and then is a combination of wired and wireless networks. So these are some description of wide area network, and I think they suffice for this question. Okay, so state 2 other types of computer networks. I mentioned some of them at the beginning. I said wireless area network, or what you would call WAN, sorry, WLAN, okay? And then we also have local area networks. Local area network. All right, so these are two other types of computer networks, okay? All right, so I think that answers this question. Okay, so I was looking forward to a question from system analysis, system life cycle. Finally found one because it always comes out every year, in one form or the other. All right, Tawara Books. Tawara Books sells books either as an online version or a physical form. Each book has a 5 digit book number, and each customer has an 8 digit customer number. Tawara Books uses a database system which contains information about the books it sells. Each record contains the following data: book title, author, book number, type of book, which could be online or physical, date book was sold, customer number. Design an appropriate online data entry form for one book. Clearly indicates the amount of space required for each field. Your design must represent a tablet screen, and where appropriate, allow the user to enter data by clicking the mouse button rather than typing the text. All right, so this is clearly an online form. So there are two types of form. I'm sure you should know that there's a physical form and then there's an online form. Okay, so this is an online form, and then we're asked to create it using this stuff. Okay, this data items: book title, author, book number, type of book, and all that. Okay, so to create a data entry screen, you must clearly specify what you're using in terms of tools. And some of the tools include text box, combo boxes, list boxes, check boxes, action buttons, and navigation aids. And these things must be present for you to earn your full marks. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put the name of the form. So the name of the form should be Tawara Books. Tawara Books online form. Okay, let me just move that to the middle. Okay, let me just play around with this. Yeah, play around with this. Okay, great. So next thing I'm going to do is to put the first thing. The first thing is book title. Book title. All right, so book title is going to be typed in by wait a minute. So book title would not be typed in, it will be picked from a list, because the question says sells books either as online or physical form. Each book has a 5 digits book number, and each customer has an 8 digit number. Tawara Books is a database system which contains information about the books itself. So the book title is already in the database. Okay, let me see. Okay, you can still type the book title that you want, and it will search it out for you. Okay, okay, so let's use a text box for the book title. All right, so I'm going to just, please pardon my drawing, but I'm going to try my best to make it look so let's okay, pardon my drawing. Okay, this is supposed to be a text box where you type in information. Okay, let me see if I can do a better job. Let me see if I can do a better job. Let me see if I can do a better job. Okay. All right. I think this is better than the other one. Not the best, but still better. Okay. So let's continue. That's book title. Then we have author, book author. Okay, I think this one too, we're going to use a text box for it. They're going to use a text box so you can type the author of the book. Okay. All right, author. Then we have book number. All right, for the book number, you would also, I think you also need to type this book number. Okay. So let's number. All right, that's the book number. Then type of book. Okay, so this one has options. That means you will need to pick from a list, a combo box. All right, so we're going to represent that using a drawing. First, let me type the name. So we have type of book, type of book. So we have two options, either online or physical. So I'm going to draw the box here. Let's do this. Okay, pardon my drawing, please. It's supposed to be done on paper. All right, so I'm going to do this to represent a list or a combo box. So what this would be is that the person is going to click on this drop down arrow, and then it is going to open up a list. It's going to open up a list for them to pick from, and pick up the two options is either online or physical. Now you can also use a checkbox to do this. Okay, you can also use a checkbox to do this aside this list box here. Then we have dates that the book was sold. Oh, sorry, there's a mistake here. Dates book sold. So I'm gonna dates book sold. Date of dates the book was sold. So I'm going to come here. Dates book sold. Okay. Dates book sold. For this, I'm also going to use this drop down box, combo box, because you can actually click on the options and then pick a date from there. You don't have to type the day, the month, and the year. Or let's do this to make it more to make it look more mature. Okay, so we're going to put y. Okay, let's use y. So I'm going to do this again, and then just do this. All right, so you can see the person would pick the day, pick the month, and pick the year, from here like this. All right, so then we have one other space for customer number. So we're gonna click here, put customer number. So I'm going to type customer number, and then put a text box here so they can type in their 8 digits number. Oh, sorry, that's trash. Let me do that again. Customer number. Okay. Okay. Customer number, and then oh, sorry, I think I need to do this again. This diagram is really, I don't like it. So let me do it again. So I'm going to click and drag, do this, do this, and then do this. Okay. So this is done. Customer number is done. All right. Then finally, every online form must actually have some components. Okay. You must have a button that actually finalizes the action of what that form is about. So I'm going to have to do two buttons. They are called action buttons. Without these action buttons, your form doesn't lead to anything. Okay. And when the form does not lead to anything, it's a useless form. It doesn't make any sense. So let me draw this box, do this box, do this. All right, to the first one, then second one, the second one. Okay, yes. Okay, so there are two options. There are two things you can do, or you can make it three if you want. For me, I want to make it two. You can either cancel this operation, cancel. Okay, you can either cancel this operation, can either cancel it, okay, or you can save it. All right, so I'm going to put save. Let me change the text to blue just for dramatic effects. Make it blue. Save. Okay. So we have save and we have cancel. All right, then finally, to end my full marks, I'm going to do what is called navigation aids. Navigation aids are there to help you scroll through the form. Okay, it's very important that you put this. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this here, and then I'm going to draw a line. I'm sure you know what this is. My line is not straight, just ignore that, but I'm sure you know what this is. All right, so this is actually what the form should look like. Okay, so I have navigation aids for scrolling through the form. I have my text box, and then I have my selection boxes or combo boxes where you pick, and then I have my action buttons. If you're able to do this, you have your full marks. I assure you of that. Okay. All right. So this is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. Okay. This is actually one place I've seen students sometimes you finish doing the form, you will not put any action buttons. If you don't do that, your form does not lead anywhere. Okay, your form must lead somewhere. It must have something to it. So this is what the action buttons are for. The navigation aids are there. And then I've used every data item that they said we should use. So make sure you do that. Book title is here, author is here, book number is here, type of book is here, date book sold is here, customer number is here. Okay. All right, so let's move on. All right. Okay. So an example of the data stored in dates book sold field is 25 of February 2025. Validation checks can be carried out on this field. State two validation checks that will be carried out on this field. So what are the validation checks we can carry out? By the way, validation checks are checks that are carried out on data to ensure that data is usable and is reasonable. Okay, so this is date field. What can we put here? What are the checks we need to put here to ensure that it is correct? The first one would be format check. Okay, because if you look at the dates, they all follow a particular format. So that format must be followed. Okay, must be followed. Format must be followed. All right. Then also, I don't think anybody should be able to skip this date. So I'll put a presence check. To this one will ensure that when filling this particular form, they can't skip that this particular field. Nobody will be able to skip the dates because it's an important information. Okay, it's an important information. So you must fill that information before you're able to save it or cancel it. If you don't do that, the form would tell you to do that. You will receive an error message. Okay, so format check and presence check would apply here. Okay, all right, so let's move on. Okay, we're almost at the end of it. All right, before the new system is designed, the current system must be analyzed. So two research methods for analyzing the system. So there are basically four methods for analysis. You have interview, you have, is it four or five? So we have interview, we have questionnaire, we have observation, we have looking at the existing system documentation. I think those are the four of them. So we have interview. So let's put two of them. So we have interview, we have use of questionnaires, use of questionnaires. Okay, we have looking at the existing system documentation, and then we have observation. So these are the research methods we have. Okay, then finally, what is meant by computer aided learning? Okay, computer aided learning, I would say it is the use of software, of appropriate software and hardware to aid learning. All right, use appropriate software and hardware to aid learning. It could also um, include devices like hearing aids for hearing aids and braille for disabled people. All right, and finally I would say it's most, or let me say some CAL platforms depend on the internet to work. All right, so these are some description of computer aided learning platform and tools. All right, so guys, we've come to the end of February March series, paper 1 theory. Let me just scroll through to ensure I've answered everything. So you can see we've gone through this paper from the beginning to the end of it. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And then if you would want me to drop these documents for you to download, kindly drop a comment, okay? And I'll do that. If you want to have these documents, maybe for study, for preparation for your exams, just drop a comment for me and I'll drop it for you, okay? All right. Thank you so much for your time. Until I see you in the next video, have a good one.